Welcome to TPM Vid's Disney Beat, where we talk about all things Disney. Walt Disney World is a world unlike any other, and is often described as a magical place. This notion really rings true when you walk into any of the Disney parks. Pretty much, you're walking into the biggest theater ever, and with every step you take, you're on stage experiencing this one-of-a-kind show. It's fitting since Disney calls their employees cast members. To make the Disney park experience so perfect and magical, there's some things that go on behind the scenes that you wouldn't necessarily think of, and as the saying goes, things aren't always as they appear. There's many details and facts that the average Disney guests wouldn't catch on to, which is a good thing since Disney probably prefers that these things are as seamless as possible to create the most immersive experience for the guest. But today, we're gonna shed some light on some interesting facts about Walt Disney World and share some secrets with you. So here are the top 10 Walt Disney World secrets and facts. Number 10. The American flag. At the Magic Kingdom, Main Street is the first official land guests walk into. It's home to a train station, city hall, firehouse, and about a dozen or so American flags. Everything you'd expect for a small town that's modeled after 20th century America. But the American flags technically aren't American. See, the flags on Main Street are up permanently. They're part of the set dressing that makes up Main Street. But if you're familiar with the American flag code, you'd know that regulations require that traditional flags need to be raised, lowered, and flown at half-mast. But if Disney has these flags up permanently, how do they get away with it? Well, when we said the flags aren't technically American, we meant it, because any flag used on Main Street, minus the big American flag that flies in Town Square, is missing stars or stripes so they can stay up permanently. Disney wants to make sure that each guest that walks through the turnstiles has the exact same experience one day to the next. And another little fun fact is that these flagpoles also double as lightning rods to protect guests from inclement weather. Number 9. Dark water. If you're sitting by the rivers of America or taking a ride on the Jungle Cruise, you might think to yourself, ew, this water looks dirty. Well, that's done on purpose, and it's all part of the show. Disney purposely dyes their water a greenish-brownish color to preserve a little bit of that Disney magic. The colored water allows for Disney to hide elements it doesn't want its guests to see, like animatronics on the Jungle Cruise or boat tracks. Most of the boats at Disney, like the Liberty Square Riverboat or even the Jungle Cruise boats, run on a track and aren't actually being driven by a cast member. The colored water keeps this illusion alive. It also gives the perception that these bodies of water are really deep, since you can't see the bottom, but that's not the case at all either. Most of the bodies of water in the parks are very shallow, and at the most are only about 5 feet deep. Number 8. Forced perspective. Remember how we said things aren't always what they appear to be? Well, that's true about Cinderella Castle. It took Disney 18 months to build this 189-foot centerpiece, which is tall enough to be seen from outside the park and from the monorail, but just less than 200 feet, which would have required a blinking red light on top of the castle to warn low-flying aircrafts. Disney thought this would ruin the magic, so they built under the maximum Florida code. But you're probably thinking the castle looks much taller than 189 feet. Probably more like 300 feet. Well, this is thanks to forced perspective. And this technique gets used a lot by Disney in its theme parks. At higher elevations, the castle's proportions to full scale are reduced when looking at things such as stones, windows, and doors. A brick at guest level is much larger than the bricks on the top level. Well, actually, they aren't even bricks. Disney used a mixture of fiberglass and plaster to create the appearance and look of stone and brick. Could have fooled us. Number 7. The second floor. Did you know that the Magic Kingdom is actually built on the second and third floors of the park? Yup, you're not standing on ground level when you walk through the Magic Kingdom. To approach the park, you need to either take the ferry across or the monorail around the man-made Seven Seas Lagoon. When Walt Disney World was being built, all the soil and dirt dug up from the Seven Seas Lagoon was used to build up the land on top of the utilidors, raising the Magic Kingdom approximately 14 feet off the ground. So as you walk into the park, starting from the boat dock to the train station, the incline is so gradual that no guest would ever know that they were ascending floors. Now, most of the park is built on the second floor, with only some parts of Fantasyland and Cinderella Castle being built on the third. Number 6. Go Away Green. Beyond all the magic, there's some things Disney doesn't want you to notice. So they paint structures, buildings, fences, construction walls, and anything else they don't want to stand out to guests a shade of green, referred to as Go Away Green. This cross between gray and green is a color Disney uses to help blend these buildings and structures in with the landscaping around the park. Now yes, Disney is magical, but it doesn't make things completely disappear. Instead, the green really just makes things easier to ignore and not notice, and frankly, it actually works. Number 5. Watch where you step. One thing that really makes Disney theme parks stand out from other theme parks across the country is their attention to detail. Everything from landscaping to ride facades down to the sidewalks you step on. Yup, Disney puts a lot of thought and detail into everything. If you've ever noticed, the walkways around Town Square and the sidewalks to the right and left of Main Street are painted red. This was done because Walt Disney wanted all of his guests to get the red carpet treatment. So the red walkways signify the red carpet being rolled out for each guest that walks through the park. And as you walk from land to land, the walkway color changes to match the vibe and theme of the new land you've just walked into. Next time you're at the park, take a look down at the ground. Just try not to run into scooters and strollers. And you'll see this detail. Really, no detail is overlooked, like in Liberty Square, which is set in colonial America. In revolutionary times, there is no indoor plumbing. So many people would take their waste and dump it from their windows into the streets. The brown wavy path that runs down the middle of the walkway in this land represents the sewage you'd find running down the streets. It's kinda gross when you think about it, but at least this waste doesn't smell, and is a great detail that makes Liberty Square even more authentic. And speaking of authentic, there are no public restrooms in Liberty Square, since they wouldn't have had them in colonial America. And if you don't believe us, next time you're in the park, try looking for the restroom. You'll probably need to visit a neighboring land if you actually have to go. Number 4. Disney trash. And we aren't referring to people, we mean the actual trash. Well, the trash cans to be exact. At Walt Disney World, you never have to walk more than 30 steps to reach a trash can. That's right, there's a trash can every 30 steps, and sometimes even less. Walt Disney thought of everything when designing his theme parks. He did research to calculate how many steps people would take while holding onto a piece of trash before dropping it on the ground. The number he came up with was 30, so trash cans at the parks were placed approximately 30 feet apart. So next time you're at a park holding a piece of trash, don't litter, cause a trash can is only a few steps away. Literally. Number 3. Sticky situations. If you've ever tried buying gum at Walt Disney World, you'd know it's physically impossible because gum isn't sold anywhere on the resort. This is done so guests visiting the park don't step in gum thrown on the walkways and rides. Now, guests can still bring their own gum into the park, so you might find some on the floor, but the Disney custodial staff is generally pretty quick at cleaning it up. So next time you visit your local theme park, take a look at how much gum is on their walkways and rides, and then compare it to the magical walkways and rides at Walt Disney World. There should be a difference. Number 2. The underground tunnels. So there's a series of underground tunnels at the Magic Kingdom. And before, when we mentioned that the park is on the second and third floors, the tunnels are actually the first floor of the park. One day, Walt Disney saw a Disneyland cast member from Frontierland walking through Tomorrowland and thought that this ruined the magic. So, when designing Walt Disney World in Florida, he made sure that this would never happen again, and an underground tunnel system known as utilidors, short for utility corridors, was built, which allows cast members to easily get to different parts of the park without ruining any magic. The utilidors also house things like waste removal, electrical operations, cast member services including rehearsal rooms and cafeterias, and storage warehouses. The tunnels are in an octagon shape with a central corridor running straight down the middle from Cinderella Castle to the front of Main Street. Now, not all of the Magic Kingdom has tunnels under it. This map overlay shows exactly where the tunnels are. Pretty cool though, huh? Number 1. SMELLITZERS. Have you ever walked down Main Street and noticed that fresh-baked cookie smell? Or the salty sea air in the queue for Pirates of the Caribbean? Or the peppermint smell around the confectionery shop? Invented at Walt Disney World by Imagineer Bob McCarthy, the Smellitzer can blow scents in strategic locations to match the surroundings. It's been said that they no longer use the Smellitzers on Main Street at Disney World, but anything smelt in Pirates of the Caribbean or Spaceship Earth definitely still uses this technology. So next time you're at a Disney park and you smell something really good, it might be real or it might be the Smellitzers hard at work. So, which of these facts did you find most interesting? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you have another fact you want to share, leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Click the TPM icon on the screen to subscribe to this channel and check out some of these other videos which we're sure you'll like.